Okay, let's talk about taking a rational expression involving trig functions and multiplying the denominator by the conjugate. Now, we have seen this word conjugate before. Remember what that means. The terms are exactly the same, but the sign in the middle is the opposite sign, because that helps to cancel things out. Are you with me? Now, some of you may be asking, well, why would I bother multiplying the denominator by its conjugate? What's the point? Here's the deal. This technique is used in simplifying some complex rational expressions involving trig functions, but it's also used in solving trig equations. So it's a very handy technique. So if you're wondering when you're going to use it, that's when you're going to use it. Got it? Okay, so here we go. We're going to multiply the denominator by the conjugate. So that means the conjugate looks like, good, cosine of x plus sine of x. Very good. And if you do it to the denominator, excellent. You're going to do it to the numerator. So let's work out the denominator first, okay? Let's see what this thing actually looks like. So I'm going to go off to the side here, and I am going to multiply the denominator together, because I want to see what this is. All right, you know how to distribute as well as I do. Cosine of x times cosine of x. Good. Cosine x squared. And then plus cosine x sine x minus cosine x sine x. Oops, running out of board space. Minus sine squared x. Well, I'm going to do it this way for just a moment. Good? Okay. Now, I alluded to it over here, but another way of writing cosine x squared is writing cosine squared x. All right? These guys are going to drop minus sine squared x. Okay. Not bad. I mean, that works. You're like, okay, I've got a bunch of squares. What's the point? Well, you know, anytime I see a square, I think of the Pythagorean trig identity. And if you're like, which one? The one used most often is cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. Now, if this was an addition problem, I would just substitute a 1 in for that. But it's not. So you're like, so what am I going to do? Well, here's the deal. We have options. We could actually rearrange this equation and get cosine squared of x by itself, and then make a substitution. Or we could get sine squared x by itself and make a substitution. It really doesn't matter which one you do. You're going to get the same thing either way. I'm just going to get cosine squared x by itself, just because it was written first, no other reason. Good? Okay. When I do that, I end up with 1 minus sine squared x minus sine squared x. 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Loving it. So that looks really familiar. All right, hold that thought very quickly. Let's look at the numerator. The numerator, when you distribute, is just going to simply be cosine squared of x plus cosine x sine of x. Now in the denominator, depending upon your instructor, you may just simply write cosine squared x minus sine squared x, and that's fine. If they want you to take it further and make the substitution, you could write this in. But this is also one of those double angle identities. Yeah, so you kind of have to figure out where you're supposed to go from here based upon the directions you're given and what your instructor wants. Cool? Okay, but I want you to see what it looks like when you multiply by the conjugate, the denominator by the conjugate, what the possibility is. Like I said, this could go further. This is a double angle identity. And you could have substituted that in or left it as is from the initial multiplication. Cool? Okay. Hope this makes sense to you. Let's get some more practice on multiplying the denominator that involves trig functions by its conjugate. Have fun. Catch you on the flip side.